Alright, welcome back, Weather Kingdom. In this update, we are going to be taking a look at the latest thinking of this next winter storm across the Northeast. I'm going to be giving you guys one last good update before tomorrow. I will be having a snow forecast on this next winter storm and some more detail and a new setup live stream style that's going to be a little bit better for me, a little bit more of a weather station. With some few more monitors and stuff. Thank you for the Christmas wish list. But here we are going to be taking a look at some of the latest data. I know it's late, but I know we did pretty well last night. So I was going to do it tonight. Hopefully we do the same type of thing tonight and make many people proud and happy. So when we're taking a look here, we are going to be taking a look at some of the model data, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the latest runs. So just give me a second. I'm currently getting some stuff ready before we finish up here. Alright, 1 second. If you're just tuning in, please like, please subscribe. If you're new to the channel, we are continuing to try and show people more of these winter weather updates and live streams, and hoping that we can continue the tradition of every time. Alright. Shift south impact New York City or not? As of right now, I do not believe it could. I just don't think it's going to be one of those systems, to be honest. When we're taking a look at the latest GFS here, this is our system coming up. This is going to slowly weaken, and I do think this is going to become more of a wind and lake effect snow, as tomorrow this is going to be more of a very strong storm, but it's going to be a little bit more spread apart. It's not going to be bringing as much impacted. I do not know why your message was restricted. That was not me that restricted your message, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. I don't know why it did that. It must have been YouTube for some reason. I did see the question with the New York and stuff. I'm sorry about how that happened. This is going to be for tomorrow. If you guys are traveling, I know I will be traveling around this time. I do expect some snow showers across the northern areas and some even rain showers. I do believe this is going to be a little gustier winds, some colder air once again. And then this should continue to move. This is going to help to bring another shot of cold air. You can tell we have another shot of cold air here. You can tell by this trough right in here. You see that trough right here? Another dip of colder air throughout your Monday, and your Tuesday. Most likely, some colder air is likely to be. Yo, I'm here for the stream. Sorry I couldn't make it to last night's stream. I got a little over inch of snow. Nice to see that. I'm glad you did. I'm sorry that I'm cutting out. I don't know why I would be cutting out. Colder air is likely to be. Yo, I'm here for the stream. Sorry I couldn't make it to last night's stream. Alright. I should be a little bit better. I don't know why it was cutting out for a split second. Please let me know if I am still. But we are going to continue to keep going with this update. So here it is, the GFS model, and we got some interesting stuff. So when we're taking a look, we got a piece of energy, kind of a little low here, that's going to be traveling along through the southern states. Alright, and then we're going to get a little bit of moisture and a little bit of a low pressure to kind of move in this direction. So what's happening here is we're seeing, this is kind of our let's go in actually black. This is kind of our jet stream right now, if you want to say it. Right in between this black and blue. And this kind of goes in like this. And this is where usually low pressures and systems really set up, alright? This is where they kind of ride and everything. And you can see on the northern side, much more colder air. Southern side, a little bit colder. My opinion, let me quickly talk about this, and then I will be giving you guys my latest opinion. In my opinion right now, I think it's too early to call. There's still a little bit of differences that I would like to figure out before we continue. This is why I'm not doing a snowfall forecast now. I will do it tomorrow on the live stream tomorrow, like I did before. So I'll do a live of the snowfall forecast. My opinion. Alright, so when we take a look at the next, let's go a little bit. So this is about Tuesday. No, this is actually about Monday. This is about Monday to Tuesday. We're seeing, once again, another shot of potentially snow in Chicago and areas here. This could be another coating to an inch or two that I do believe. And then if you guys, do you think there is a chance of snow in central North Carolina? Can I get some snow? Okay, no, I do not believe in North Carolina. You will be seeing, in central North Carolina, will be seeing snow. You are most likely not going to be seeing any snow out of this. I am sorry, but you probably won't. If you guys are just tuning in, please like, please subscribe. Please join in, and let's talk a little bit about the weather. Thank you for the question. Okay. Now let's go a little bit here. This is a little bit interesting. This is December 2nd. This is about Tuesday early morning, okay? We got a trough that is still a little bit tilted positive. Alright, this is our trough right in here. But one thing is, we do see a bit of snow. We see a bit of snow for Chicago. We see, once again, for Illinois, Evansville, Indiana, and these regions here with the latest GFS. It likes to bring at least a light to moderate snow events across the Ohio states and stuff. Very cold air. So is it possible for rain and snow line to shift so New York City and Long Island can see some snow? I don't believe this is going to be a coastal region storm. I really do not believe this is going to be a coastal region storm at all. So Long Island, I don't think so. As we keep going into early morning of Tuesday, this is around 7 a.m. And look at this, you guys. We have developed a... Devin, did you close the door? Close the door. Close the door. Alright. 1 second. Sorry about that. I was quickly getting a clarification. So this is the latest GFS. And it is a little bit interesting when we're taking a look here. If you are in Ohio, if you are in Pennsylvania, upstate New York, potentially New Jersey, eastern and western New Jersey, potentially back in Illinois, the Great Lakes region, I do believe, out of the GFS, and even some of the Appalachian Mountains of the Carolinas and some of the West Virginia. I do believe the GFS is showing some snow this run. Pretty good swath of snow in the morning. It is a little bit interesting. This will be a good swath of snow to start it out. And then as we keep going, actually let's take it here. This is a little bit better here on the GFS. We can look at the closer sector. Sorry about that. I just realized we can. So, yes, this is about the beginning of the storm. Let's go into tonight's ZRZ. Yeah, it's a little bit colder than the GFS actually has trended colder. So we can kind of see this is the frontal end of the storm. And this is a lot colder, honestly. This is about, Tuesday morning. that I do believe. And then this is about a little bit Tuesday and later in the morning. You're still talking about heavy snow across potentially eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, central Pennsylvania, still dealing with some snow. Upstate New York, Massachusetts here. New York, you're right on the edge. I don't believe this is going to be a coastal region storm, you guys. I just don't see it. We're about to see about a foot here in Chicago. Suburbs, you were right. Thank you. Nice to see you guys. Do you think southern Indiana could see up to get... Hey man, how's it going? Weather in New York has snow. I don't believe New York is going to see snow, but we are going to keep an eye on that. We're currently taking a look. You said we're going to... Let me quickly finish this up, and then we're going to take a look at some of the snowfall totals. As we keep going, this storm continues to move. It's still not like a nor'easter. I don't think this is going to be anything big of a nor'easter that we were thinking. This is moving a little bit fast. Once again, if you guys are in Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, Massachusetts on the GFS, Connecticut, even northern New Jersey. I think New York stays rain. If you are across Philadelphia, I do believe is going to be rain. If you are in northern Pennsylvania, I do believe in some snow. Central Pennsylvania, I believe in some snow. Southern Pennsylvania here, all where my X's are, I do believe on the latest GFS, likes to show us snow. This shows out 3 hours, that's why I switch it. And then this is another throughout the midday. You can kind of see where your line sets up. If you are across Boston, I don't believe this is a coastal storm of snow. I don't believe where I'm drawing the line on the GFS. If you're in Allentown on south, I do believe a changeover to rain will likely happen as we are getting a low pressure starting to turn up. But I do believe if you're on Allentown on north, I do believe we're going to get some pretty good snowfall totals out of this. Could this shift south? I do believe this easily could, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it. And we can kind of see this continuing to move out and strengthen a bit some. When we take a look at the total snowfall and courage, it's a little bit interesting. I mean, I know I got a question here. Hello from... We're about to get a foot. We're about a foot here in Chicago. That's good. Do you think southern Indiana... Okay. Let me just quickly do my... Okay. So, southern Indiana. I don't believe this you could get up to 6 inches. No. If you are in southern Indiana and still watching, I do not believe. This is the latest GFS. This is southern Indiana here. Looks to me more like a coating at most. I don't believe you are going to be any snow. If you're in Ohio, a good general 2 to 4 inches. Local spots up to 5 inches potentially, I do believe. It is a quick moving system, but we can't lie here. The GFS does a pretty good job. If you're on Allentown on north, I believe a 2 to 4 inch. I mean, let's go a little bit closer. I want to get a little bit closer on this storm. This is going to be interesting. I want to see how this all plays out, because the GFS likes to bring a solid 6 to 10 inches across Maine, New Hampshire, Maine, and this is the total courage. So this is including not 10-1 ratios. It's kind of including some of the rain and stuff here. So it is a little bit interesting that the GFS is showing that if you're across northern Massachusetts, potentially 8 inches. Where I'm currently at, around 2 to 4 inches. New York, nothing. Long Island, nothing. Rhode Island, nothing. Southern Connecticut, nothing. Even, where I around here, I say maybe 2 to 4 inches on the latest GFS. To the Poconos, potentially 3 to 6. Locally, 8 inches. Most likely out of the GFS. When we take a look at it from 18Z, it was showing that, but a little bit different. 12Z. So it has changed just a bit. And then if we look at 0Z from last night to tonight, a much bigger shift to the south. So there has been a little bit of a shift. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. And just keep an eye on it. Alright. Now I want to take a look at another model. And this is the Canadian. What does the Canadian show? So this is the Canadian here. This is our system on Monday night. Monday actually afternoon. And already. We're talking about another swath of snow here on the Canadian. This is generally going to be 1 inch. Once again, we're seeing a little clipper system on the northern side. And then a low pressure from Gulf of Mexico. And we kind of see these kind of... If you guys are just tuning in, please like and please subscribe. I do see we have quite a few people here. It would be nice if we can get up to 1,200 and 256 subscribers tonight. Let's get 2 more subscribers, you guys. Let's do it. Let's get 2 more subscribers. That would mean... We are going to have to see. That's a very interesting question. I don't think... It's a little bit too early. I want to wait until tomorrow until I can really look into this. I'm kind of doing this to show you guys the latest thinking. And then tomorrow, we're going to be doing a snowfall. Could you look at the her model at the end? Yes, I could. Let's do that quickly. Let's go into... We can look here. Okay. So it is interesting. This is the her model out of this so far. It does... Let's actually go look on the... I want to see what it... Okay, so it doesn't do too bad on the her. The her already has these 2 pieces coming in together pretty good. A good swath of snow across Chicago once again. Colder air down here. We're going to have to wait and see because I would like to see. I'll give it into tomorrow on it. The latest Canadian does agree with the her kind of. It does bring snow back into Ohio. You know, Chicago even a little bit here. So there is still a little bit of differences when we take a look at this. And then we can kind of see our trough digging right in here. Alright, so this is a little bit out ahead of it, but can it get a little bit more out of it ahead of it and deepen? I just looked at the her, so no problem. It is very interesting. Do we see that on the Canadian? It definitely does a good job, in my opinion. It's a little bit more aggressive. It does a little bit better of a job. We're talking about a little bit more snow now. When we're taking a look at here, you're talking about Pennsylvania. You know, this is about 7 a.m. So this is some good information as of tonight. You know, if you're in Massachusetts here, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, all of upstate New York, northern New Jersey, and especially the western parts of New Jersey. I think Philly could start out with some snowflakes. New York, I just don't think it's your storm, you guys. I'm going to be honest. I think this is just too warm. It's very early in the season. We're going to have many more potential. But, eastern and western Pennsylvania, I do believe we're going to get some good snowfall out of this. I think this is going to be a good mid-snowstorm and definitely going to set the stage up for some good stuff. Alright. This is by 1 p.m. and the Canadian is a little bit different, but it is a little bit different. The snow line, this is last run, this is this run. It's a little bit more stronger. It's a little bit more deepened, and it likes to bring our snow line about the Lehigh Valley on north. If you kind of cross this, it's going to be a tough gradient on here. I do believe. I think they could be a little bit more, but definitely going to be a good snow swath. And then as you look into 7 p.m., the snowstorm's already ending here. with a 990. So it's a little bit more deeper. We're going to have to see if things keep changing. Models are coming in a little bit more agreement, and then we'll have to just wait and see. Alright. I don't know, but let me, let me take a look at Pivotal. Any new questions in the chat? The GFS is... I'm not saying the GFS is wrong. We're gonna have to wait and see. See, I wanted to look at that. Yeah, this is the courage. It's a little bit interesting. So, this is kind of another ingredient. You know, we're talking about if you are near Philly, maybe a coating to a half an inch to an inch. If you are in Allentown, maybe 1 to 2 inches. And then probably like in my area, you're looking at more like 2 to 4 out of the Canadian. And then in the Poconos, potentially 3 to 6 inches. And then a little bit further north in the New England area, a general 6 to 10 inches of snow, with some spots maybe even reaching a foot. So it looks like a reasonable sized snowstorm. The last few runs have changed. This was 12Z, you guys, a little bit more further north. So let's take a look at that. This was 12Z, this is 0Z, a little bit to the south. When we take a, and with the GFS also a little bit more south. So it is something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying pack it up. This is about to be a snowstorm of the sort of kind, but a little bit interesting of data we're seeing here. If you guys are just tuning in, we are currently taking a look at this winter storm. I won't be live for much longer. I do need to get some sleep, wake up early in the morning. But this is the latest Euro model out of the 18Z. And let's go back in here. Let's go into the US, and then let's go through here once again. We see these two pieces of energy hook up. If you guys are on the northern piece, maybe an inch, maybe a lucky inch or two. Snow depends on how deep it gets. And then this is the European. Tries and deepens it. This is kind of the same thinking now on the latest models. They're coming a little bit more agreement that there's going to be some snow to the north. And I do believe if you guys are along this region here, you're definitely going to start out with some snow. This will probably start about early morning. I want to see if timing gets a little bit earlier. That would help. The case of everything, does it deepen a little bit? I think there's some little questions about that as of this current time. And then this is that latest zero. You know, by 10 a.m., you're talking about some snow bands. You're talking about this low getting deepened. You're talking about, once again, New York, Philly, Boston's right on the line, but all rain, you guys, along the coastal reaches. Euro favors a little bit more snow, and then this is by 1 p.m. on Tuesday. We talk about a little bit of heavier snow if you're along eastern Pennsylvania, western New Jersey, parts of upstate New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, northern Connecticut, maybe a little bit heavier snow. It does like to give you guys that, and then this is by 4 p.m. The snow event's pretty much done into New England and then wrapping up. Alright, does it give anyone a lot of snow? And that thinking is, it gives a decent amount. I do believe. I think it gives everybody a decent amount. It's not a lot. It's probably more than the least. But it gives, you know, I don't think the year 18Z is right. I think it's just a little bit weird. It shows about Massachusetts in general, 3 to 6. Northern Connecticut, 3 to 6. Rhode Island, these areas. Upstate New York, 3 to 6. Even it has getting almost an inch to 3 inches across New York City. Philadelphia up to 2 to 4 inches. In my neck of the woods. 2 to 4 inches. Central Pennsylvania also 2 to 4. So there's a little bit of differences on the models that we are going to have to figure out. But I do believe from last night to tonight we are getting in a little bit better agreement. Alright. Thank you guys for hitting 6 likes. Let's get our goal. Let's get 4 more likes. Also, if you're just tuning into the channel, please like, please subscribe. That means a lot. Let's share this with your friends and family. And then, yeah. So this is the latest RGM here. This is kind of the latest thinking here. Showing the storm starting out pretty heavy. It really wants to get it started around 4 a.m. It wants a little bit more deepened, and then this is about 9 a.m. Talking about your snow line already near Allentown on south, and then it kind of has trouble changing over. It's going to be a little bit stronger. Can definitely change the books here. Total snowfall, once again, just like the Canadian here. So that is very interesting. I don't want to look at any of the nail models, kind of. I just think it's too early. How much is the mean of snow? Mean of snow actually has gone up quite a bit, I would say. Some of these ensembles are showing a little bit more of a snowstorm, in fact. So I'm going to like to see how this plays out. The mean of snow on the GFS has went up from last night, you guys. Actually, if you are along New York, you guys now have potentially a coating to a half an inch to an inch of snow. If you are across, like, my neck of the woods, we have an average of about 2 to 3 inches of snow. And then just to the Poconos, some spots here on these models up to 6 inches. So it looks to me that your heaviest snow right now, shaping up on the latest data, is just about here. Is your heaviest data. And I think that's where you guys could get a little harder. I'm just showing you guys some of the latest data. And then when we take a look at yesterday's 0Z, look at that. It showed a lot less. This was 6Z, even more or less. 12Z, about the same. 18, kind of different. And then 0Z, a little bit more aggressive. So far, coming out of the latest data. When we take a look at the blend of all the models, let's go into 21Z. So this is about the latest thinking on some of the models. This is about, take this with a grain of salt. 10-1 ratios. It has, I think this is a little bit far-fetched, but it definitely has spots here. 3 spots on all the models. So I think the chances are increasing for some type of an event, but I don't know how much. But